So Israel's Minister of Defense has already made an announcement now that he is making plans to allow for residents in Gaza who wish to leave to do so. This is obviously in the aftermath of President Trump's proposal to relocate the people of Gaza. And this is what Israel Katz has just said. He said, "I've instructed the IDF to prepare a plan that will allow any resident of Gaza who wishes to leave to do so to any country willing to receive them." Now, by the way, to pause for a second, I would have thought that if you're a country that says Israel's committing genocide, you're a country that claims to have empathy for the people of Gaza, why are they so dismayed at the notion of letting them relocate? Even if the countries say, we're just going to do it temporarily. But they don't want to say that. They want to keep the Gazans there. Egypt also locks them in. Why? Because they don't really care about them. Breaking news. What they care about is undermining and hating Israel. And it's very useful to have Gazans with an anti-Semitic leadership. And populace, by the way, being there, because it puts pressure on Israel to deal with them somehow. Katz continues, he said, Hamas has used the residents of Gaza as human shields, built its terror infrastructure in the heart of the civilian population, and now holds them hostage, extorting money from them through the humanitarian aid system and preventing their departure from Gaza. The plan will include exit options via land crossings, as well as special arrangements for departure by sea and air. Now he says something that exactly what I'm saying. Countries such as Spain, Ireland, Norway, and others, which have falsely accused Israel over its actions in Gaza, are legally obligated to allow Gazans to enter their territory. Their hypocrisy will be exposed if they refuse. See, this is, by the way, what one of the key points is, that basically it looks like that if you're a country that says that a country is, let's say, committing genocide or doing something terrible, then you've got a legal obligation to accept them. So the 1951 Refugee Convention and 1967 Protocol relating to the status of refugees there talks about these obligations and these rules. There's also a principle called non-refoulement. I don't know if I've pronounced that right. It's a fundamental principle of international law anchored in the Convention relating to the status of refugees that forbids a country from deporting any person to any country in which their life or freedom would be threatened. And there are some who will argue that this must also apply in reverse, that if you accuse a country of genocide, then you must be open to taking in refugees. So as Katz says, their hypocrisy will be exposed if they refuse. Meanwhile, countries like Canada, which has a structured immigration program, have previously expressed willingness to take in residents from Gaza. So let's see. The people of Gaza should have the right to freedom of movement and migration, as is customary everywhere in the world. I welcome President Trump's bold initiative, which can create extensive opportunities for those in Gaza who wish to leave, assist them in resettling in host countries, and support long-term reconstruction efforts in a demilitarized, threat-free Gaza after Hamas, an effort that will take many years. And he tagged Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio in this tweet on X. And so we can already see that as a result of Trump's announcement and his actions, that the tide is shifting and it's moving things. This is a proposal, an idea that would be so politically risky for any Israeli or even American leader to say that it's just so hard to imagine that they would. I personally have been saying and realizing and having guests on JTV for a while that have acknowledged this, that really we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. And so the Arabs of Gaza, like those in the Judea and Samaria, by the way, they've blown it. They've had 100 years of being offered chance for statehood and showing that that's what they're interested in. They've shown us time and again including recently with their mass support for Hamas and for what Hamas did on October 7th, that they're not interested in a statehood, that the Palestine cause is phony, that they consider themselves Arabs and part of the Arab world and will be happy to be part of another Arab country or empire or nation. Their issue is not statehood. It's not that they see themselves as a unique people that belong to this unique plot of land. Rather, it's that they are deeply disturbed by the Jewish people restoring sovereignty to their ancient homeland, which was done not via the sword. It was done through legal purchasing of land, returning to the land through peaceful means, through legal purchases, through the world, the UN acknowledging the Jewish people's right to re-establish sovereignty. And any of the issues that they lament, the displacement that's happened, wars, checkpoints, all these things, are because they have chosen to go to war against the Jewish people, re-establishing their sovereignty. They had a chance to have their own state as well. But for them to say, no, we don't want any Jewish sovereignty at all, the entire land is ours, it's at the very least not acknowledging the Jewish people's equally strong, if not stronger, claims to the land. And B, it actually just represents what they're really about, which is a deep hostility to the Jews, Judaism, and the Jewish people's rights. And the reason is because the Jewish people re-establishing sovereignty in the heart of the Middle East is very threatening to a worldview that says Islam will dominate the Middle East and then the world. So that's what this really comes down to. For those who try to tell you it's about occupation, it's about land, it's about politics, how stupid could you get? You just need to listen to the leaders. You just need to listen and study the history just for a moment or two to get a sense of what's really going on here. So if that really is the case, if the Palestinian cause has always just been represented by what Hamas represent, then no, a two-state solution, a continuous plan to try and give them autonomy in this plot of land is going to lead to more violence and bloodshed for both sides. And we can't have that. So this is a promising development, and we'll see how things continue to move forward. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.